Wow, this was a good episode. My review is late, but the episode was still really good. Um I actually felt bad for Lisa Barlow in this episode. What is happening to me? And Meredith, damn, you really don't like Brittany. We throwing stuff?
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right. Welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. Super late review. I have no excuse. I actually forgot. I watched it and forgot to do a review, y'all. A lot of shit doing. Got my new hair. Is giving Debbie and Adam's Family Values. Anyway, this is going to be a short review because I want to get right to the point. Um, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 6, episode 7. Um, First of all, this was a below deck Real Housewives crossover. I am so here for this. We need to do this every season with every franchise. I'm a big fan of Below Deck. I'm probably going to start doing reviews for that. But to see this like crossover this way, fantastic. And I love that it was this particular crew. Watching Joao's response and Daisy's response to them had me dying. And Captain Jason, you kind of fine, sir. You look kind of good for an older white man. I was like, okay, Captain Jason. Um, I mean, he was attractive on his show, but I don't know. Anyway, I understood what Brittany saw. Girl, I saw it too. Anyway, so the ladies go to Canawan Islands. Everybody flies together except for Bronwyn. Turns out Bronwyn, all these allegations against Bronwyn with like theft and a bunch of other stuff come out. We learned that none of that is actually true. It's just the story has been spun into something crazy. She was involved with something that was sealed that she can't talk about. My thing is, girl, it was 10 years ago. You didn't touch anybody. You didn't unalive anyone. You didn't steal from any older people. It sounds like something that, okay, girl. But obviously when we read this stuff in the blogs, it becomes bigger than what it is. I'm not gonna lie, I actually did a video on it a few months back when all that stuff came out, and I ended up deleting the video. I actually took it down because something in me felt like it wasn't totally right. And who knew that I was right? Trust your instinct, trust your gut. Anyway, first of all, the yacht was slamming, beautiful. Fantastic to see them interacting with the below deck crew. Brittany, you're thirsty as hell. Brittany was all over Captain Jason, and you know Captain Jason is friends with Heather, and of course Brittany's trying to hook up with him because she's on a 30-day break from Jared. Brittany, you are so hot in the pants, girl. I'm like, I'm not mad at it. I'm only mad at it because it's affecting your relationship with your daughters. If you didn't have this issue with your daughters, all of this would be actually even funny and somewhat entertaining to watch. But watching it now, knowing what we know about you and your personal life is wild. And can we talk about Jared giving her that unicorn where Jared gave her a stuffed animal which is a unicorn, and it had a, it has a recorded voice of good night honey or some shit. Very strange. They got a weird situation. Brittany ends up she has to share one with Bronwyn, which she was like not happy about at first, but it was kind of funny watching Brittany flirt with all the young men on the boat. Was both hilarious and ridiculous at the same time. um Anyway, so they fly to Canawan. Bronwyn ends up meeting them there. And I will say this, Salt Lake City and I would say Potomac are the most self-aware franchises as far as people's outside stuff. Like Whitney kept it real. She was like, I know why she didn't want to fly out with us because she didn't want to talk about it. But listen, we're going to talk about it whether you come or not, which is true. So Bronwyn, um, Brittany, of course, asks her about it when they're in the room because you know she finds out she's sharing a room with Brittany. She basically breaks it down, saying a lot of it is not true, and of course, it's affected Todd the most. Everything affects Todd. Here's my thing, Bronwyn, because I like Bronwyn. She be doing dumb shit, but I do like her. Your husband knew you were joining a reality television show. Why is he acting brand new over anything at this point? You knew that there was some salacious shit in her past that was going to come out. And we know how these blogs like to do. And then when they start breaking it down, we all know who it's coming from. I'll get to that in a minute. Allegedly coming from. Um, but Bronwyn, so after Bronwyn gets there, she kind of talks about it a little bit with Brittany in their room. So the ladies go up on the main deck to eat, and Whitney. So is everything okay? What happened? I'm Whitney. Like, girl, what's going on? Let's address the elephant in the room and keep it moving. So Bronwyn basically explains that a lot of the stuff that we read about is not true. She was involved with something that she can't talk about because the document is sealed. But she feels like, and so does Todd, they feel like that there's someone in the group that is spinning these stories and putting them out to, besmirch her name and make her look bad. At no point does she say Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow, with her insecure, guilty ass, starts being defensive kind of out of nowhere. Was crazy. I was like, this girl, homie, you are telling on you. She literally was the definition of the lady doth protest too much. No one was even bringing that energy your way, but that guilty conscience set in. Well, I don't know. And nobody in our group would ever do that. We would never do that. We've all been around each other. We would never do that. Girl, you would do that. You've done it before. And of course, Bravo rolls back. So, of course, they roll back to some footage, last year's reunion, where she admits to talking to Bronwyn's jeweler and the jeweler saying that she didn't buy that whole thing with the necklace. My thing is, you gave yourself away. And even Bronwyn was like, that's weird that a jeweler would even share that information with you. Exactly. Like, why are you talking to someone's jeweler about something they may or may not have bought? What does that have to do with anything that has to do with you, Miss Barlow? And I find it funny. So she's getting really defensive at the table. She's basically telling on herself, gets really defensive, gets up from the table. It was hilarious because the below deck crew, they're trying to serve them in the middle of these bitches arguing. It was kind of funny. And that was just a taste of what would come later. So they all disperse. Of course, she goes and talks to her husband. Lisa Barlow, it's funny. I really hope those cheating rumors aren't true about you because it seems like you lean on your husband a lot. And John seems like he's a good dude. He puts up with your ass. So he got to be a good dude. Um, so Whitney and Heather are talking in Heather's room, and they're talking about this stuff with Lisa. And they talk about this stuff with Bronwyn. They determine that it's Lisa Barlow who's leaking all of this stuff. She's the common denominator. Basically, she gets mad at somebody and she starts releasing stories about them. Girl, welcome to the Real Housewives. LVP did it on Beverly Hills. We know on New York, a few of them like to get down like that, including Sonia. Sonia always tries to deny, girl, come on. And we know how Teresa likes to get down on New Jersey. What's funny, Lisa Barlow, I don't even fault you for that. What I fault you for is playing in everyone's face. I don't think there's anything wrong with, at this point, I don't agree with it. I would be annoyed if somebody did it to me, but I wouldn't put it past anyone on these types of shows to dig up dirt about their castmates. That shit is currency on this type of shows. Listen, it's not playing fair at all. Absolutely not. But this shit is not fair. It's not a fair game. It's not. I think Lisa Barlow has a lot of skeletons in her closet, as we're starting to see. And I think she's one of these people where she likes to have something just to pull out, just in case anybody comes for her. That's a sign of a very insecure woman, very insecure person, actually. But anyway, she was really telling on herself at that lunch. No one accused her, nothing. You basically let everybody know, girl, it's you. Okay, whatever. So anyway, so back to the cabinet. So they're talking about this and they were like, she's done it to all of us, including Meredith. And they were like, we need to get Meredith because Meredith is the closest to her. So they go get Meredith. They bring her in the, I think I got cut off. So they go and get Meredith. They bring Meredith into the room. They're telling her the conclusion they've come to. Meredith, what does Lisa got something on you. She must, because you're like blindly defending her, which is weird because weren't you the first person that she was digging shit up on, not to mention the hot mic moment, which to me, you know what? You're better than me. You forgave her. Fantastic. I would not put shit past her after that. You said a lot of shit, ma'am, on the hot mic. Um, it was interesting. So Meredith's whole thing is, well, I don't know if it's her or not, but my cat just jumped. Georgie over here trying to get something under the couch. Girl. Anyway, so Meredith Meredith is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You could tell she doesn't want to be fully involved because she doesn't want to feel the wrath of Lisa. To me, that was very apparent, which is crazy because Meredith, I thought you were, I thought you were a little tougher than that. I guess not. So anyway, they decide they're gonna bring it up later to Lisa at dinner. Terrible, terrible idea, by the way. I cannot believe they were like, yeah, let's bring it up at dinner in front of everybody. Okay, girl. Meanwhile, I want to point this out. Angie is seasick the whole time. They went on they did like a water sport thing. They were having fun with the toys. Poor baby done threw up twice. She can't even go to dinner. She's laying in the bed. And actually, Mary stays down there with her and eats dinner. I actually thought that was sweet. So let's get to this dinner real quick. They get to the dinner and they decide, Heather basically jumped. They talked about some, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. So before they get to the Lisa shit, Brittany and Meredith kind of get into it. Meredith does not like Brittany. Let's talk about it. Meredith don't like Brittany. Meredith, and this was the other thing. So this ongoing joke they said at the beginning of the yacht, I forgot to mention this, was that anytime Brittany mentions Jared's name, they're going to pour water on her. They've done it twice already, which was hilarious. The crew was freaking out because they were like, oh, Lord. So fast forward to this dinner. Meredith and Brittany are arguing. I can't even remember what the argument was about. It was very petty, but Brittany was basically saying, like, Meredith, you were coming for me, blah, blah, blah. Meredith's like, no, I wasn't. Da, da, da. Meredith immediately goes to yelling at Brittany and actually throws water on her or her drink or whatever. Immediately. And then she, I think, throws a napkin or something at her later. Meredith, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, for real, you're grown. Why are you throwing shit at Brittany? Brittany's annoying, but I mean, is it that deep? You could tell she does not like her. Your go-to is violence. Uno mas. Your go-to is violence with Brittany. That's not good. I like Meredith, but I found that to be very cringy. Very cringy. Brittany, I know you're a bit of a dingbat, baby, but don't let those people come at you like that. You know what? I think somebody just tried to call me, and I think the last bit of what I was saying just got muted. Let me check. I was wrong. It didn't mute. Anyway, so after that, we get to this dinner. We get to the meat and potatoes. So Heather, flat out, she says, Lisa, all this stuff that's going on, we think is you. We think is you, this behind all the dirt coming out. And, Lisa, that she gets to homegirl gets to touching the hair and the blinking and shit. Nervous ticks, baby, because you were caught. Here's my problem with this scene, though. They get into it. And then Heather is like, what's wrong with that? Why can't you just admit it? I'm with Heather. Why can't you just admit it? But let's talk about it. Heather, you know how Lisa Barlow is. And you know what? Let's take all that out. Let's say we don't know Lisa Barlow. Why would you think it would be a good idea to call anybody out in front of a group of people and cameras and then tell them to admit it? Like, girl, this was not the way to do it. If this is how you were trying to get homegirl to own up to some shit, this was not the way to do it. I didn't like that. Lisa had a great point though when she was going off. She was like, just admit it. She was like, how would you feel if I was just like, admit it, Heather, admit it. She's right. Now, is she lying? I absolutely think she's lying. I absolutely think she's a part of it. Absolutely. But there's a better way to go about it. You should have brought her ass in the room and said, listen, girl, it's me and you. Let's lay this down. Let's figure this out. Now, here's the reality. Lisa Barlow will never admit to that. She's not going to admit. Lisa Barlow is not going to take accountability. For her to take accountability would be admitting that she was wrong about something, especially something as big as that. because she wants to be the one that holds all the cards in the friendship. I peeped her game. Um, which is why I look at Bronwyn a little weird because I'm like, you want to be accepted by somebody so bad who's over here trying to destroy your character with some old shit and then putting 20 on 10. Like, girl, mm-mm. Um, this was a really good episode. They continue to go back and forth. At one point, they're trying to serve them. They're arguing. Ben, the chef, comes out to do his whole thing. He ends up leaving because they're just going at it. It wasn't good. Lisa ends up leaving. She gets on the phone with her husband and walks as far out from the damn ship as she could. She's at the end of this one little ramp thingy, sitting out there. At one point, Brittany comes out and tries to talk to her. I don't want you. I don't want to be touched. I don't want you touching me. I just want to talk to John. I don't want to be around you. I want to talk to you. I understand it. And what sucks is she can't leave. You're stuck on a boat with these women. I understand why Heather did it because here's the reality: she can't run. But that's not how you get somebody to admit that they're wrong. You don't call somebody out amongst a group of people, especially when they're all beefing with the same, when they kind of have issues with you as well. It's just it could have been handled differently. Not a big fan of Lisa Barlow, but I felt bad for her, even though you told on yourself earlier in the episode at the same table, girl. But okay. Um, and I skipped real quick. I want to say this. Brittany and Meredith got into it because Bronwyn brought up the fact that Brittany was talking shit about Meredith. She was talking that good shit. They had went out, so they went somewhere to buy clothes for this particular trip because they rolled back the bean footage, and Bronwyn was just like making faces. His homegirls in the fitting room talking crap. Here's the other thing, Brittany, none of these women are really your friends like that. Don't be talking shit behind their back and then expect not to get called out on it. Now, I will say this. You did hold your own with Meredith. Even when she threw shit on you, I would have thrown that whole table on her ass. I would have let her know I'm not the one to do that. Brittany, they think you're weak, babe. They think you're weak. That's why they come at you the way that they do. Meredith felt comfortable to pour shit on you and throw shit at you. You need to show them that you're not weak, honey. Stand up for yourself, please. Um, as all of this is going on, Angie and Mary are downstairs. Like, who is that yelling? So here's what's funny. So Captain Jason was supposed to have dinner with them. He leaves with Ben because he was like, so he goes downstairs to check on Angie and Mary. That was great. And what's funny is when he goes down there, they're like, who was that yelling? And he was like, well, it's what did he say? It's Heather and Lisa. That shit was hilarious. Even he was like, Heather's getting the best. Lisa, so back to the argument. Lisa ends up storming off. Heather is pissed that she's mad at her. Heather, you know who she is, though. You know how she gets down. Heather is like, I'm following you. This is when she follows her down when she's on the phone with John, and she's trying to argue with Lisa over what Lisa's saying to John about what just happened, because of course she's spinning it, and that's her favorite word. You guys are gonna spin this. Um, this was a good episode. I love Salt Lake City a lot. I really do like this franchise. This season has been very good so far. We're on 7 episodes. They've delivered every single time. Here's my thing with this episode. This is my takeaway. Heather, you clearly care about your friends, and I actually think you're a good friend. I don't always agree with you, and I made that shitty Ozempic comment about your personality a few episodes ago, and you know what? I'm going to eat crow. I apologize for that. Sometimes I don't like the way that you move. I understand what you were trying to do with Lisa Barlow in this episode. I think you could have done it differently. You know how she is. You know how defensive she gets. So to call her out on something as big as that in front of everybody else at the table was not a good look. Now, I would be a fool if I didn't say that the irony is not lost on me, that if that had been anybody other in the hot seat, Lisa Barlow's ass would have been eating that shit up. We know that. We know that. But let's keep it real. You guys are trying to forge a real friendship with this woman. You even said that. You said that in a few episodes, and we have to call her out. If no one's going to do it, who's going to do it? It's going to be us, right? Lisa Barlow got a lot going on. I feel like there's so much more going on with her. Deep ass shit with her. But I'm not going to lie. I felt bad for her as she was fighting for her life. Girl, you're in the wrong. and you gave yourself away. What you should have said is, you know what? Yes, I am the T motherfucking master, and I feel some type of way. And I'm gonna say this to anybody that watches Married to Medicine. When Lisa Nicole Cloud was on the show, she admitted at her first reunion, I think the second reunion, she admitted that she did a background check on everybody. She wanted to know what she was getting herself into. They gave her hell for that, which I thought was crazy because she admitted to it. And the only information she used on anybody was against Quad because they were beefing with each other. Quad started it. Anyway, this was a good episode. It's to be continued. I'm sorry this review is so late, child. Heather, this wasn't the way to do this. Lisa Barlow, I think you would really gain favor if you were just honest and upfront. I think you have a group of women that I think will really ride for you if you would just ride a little bit back for them and be honest. I don't know. Anyway, it's Sunday, you guys. Happy Sunday. I hope you have a great week. And I hope that whenever you're ever watching this, be nice to each other, stay hydrated, have a great week, and I'm going to go return these videotapes.